Hey guys, welcome back to another market update with the Patti Martin team. I'm joined with Patti Martin and Jennifer Adams. How are you?
Well, thanks.
Yeah, good.
How about you?
Right on. I'm excellent. It's a beautiful sunny day. We're talking about real estate. Love it. We're talking about the July 2025 stats. It is mid-August, so we have a few days into August to kind of see how these stats kind of played out. To summarize, we're looking at a recovery in sales over what we were discussing as kind of a pretty slow spring market. Inventory over the past little while has stabilized around that 17,000 listing point, kind of keeping prices kind of stable with some negotiating room. Balanced conditions overall, but are buyers still ahead of sellers in terms of, is this the preferred market to be a buyer? What do you guys think?
Absolutely. I'd rather be a buyer than a seller right now. And I think the sales reflect that. I think that for anyone who's waited, that stability created by the 3 rate holds, I think it made buyers feel like, oh, okay, like, maybe the lending isn't going to move around. So I'm going to jump off the fence and do this while prices are either a little bit lower or at least sideways. Like prices have stabilized. I'd way rather be a buyer.
Yeah, me too.
Perfect. Let's jump right into it. There's lots to discuss. Sales this month were 2,286. It's only 2% below July 2024. So this is a huge improvement, especially compared to May, which was nearing 19%, that 10-year historical average. Right now, we're about 14% below the 10-year seasonal average, but clearly recovering from a very slow spring market. So my question to you guys, now that sales are only 2% below last year, is this the short-term rebound or the start of a longer recovery?
Oh, that's a tough one. I guess what will really be the most telling is what happens in September, Adam, because we can already see an increase in seller desire. So I'm getting a lot more calls in the last little while. Like this week, I'm doing 5 evaluation.
Yeah, that's such a telltale sign.
And I'm in the middle of August, right?
Yeah,
So it's interesting.
Is normally sleepy. Yeah,
this is normally
vacation.
Sleepy. So whether that then translates into a lot more inventory in September will dictate what happens beyond that. And I would guess that this is just a bunch of people that really wanted to buy, a lot of sellers who really got their price in line for what the market could bear. We certainly have had a lot of sellers that have come to terms with the market, understand that what they get is also going to affect what they pay for the next home, and have moved on and made really good, solid decisions. So whether or not we see a real jump in inventory will dictate how much more recovery we see.
And then how much do you think of the sales improvement is due to like a shift in seasonal pattern? Like, is our spring market now just kind of delayed into the summer or late summer versus like a real shift in buyer confidence?
Yeah, I think it comes more down to the buyer mentality, what they're hearing on the news, when they're seeing their families at barbecues and picnics and all that stuff, and everybody's chatting about what's happening. They're looking at their economic situation. What's my job like? What are my needs? Are my kids growing? Do we have enough space? What can we afford? Talk to my mortgage broker. Hey, what can we do? And I just think that people are kind of exploring their opportunities that are in this market. And there are quite a few.
And I've been speaking to several families who are liquidating properties to help their children because they can see that the market is to their advantage right now as they help their kids buy in.
Well, we spoke about that an episode a while back, that there is that generational transfer in wealth coming. There's about $1 trillion that's going to change hands, and we're starting to see that. And this is exactly what happens. When we're talking about new listings and total inventory, there are 5,642 new listings. It's up just under 1% from last year. just over 12% above the 10-year average. And what we're noticing is that listing pace is steady compared to earlier months. Like, we're not seeing the big spikes, which we saw in May when new listings jumped quite sharply. But to piggyback off that, total inventory is just over the 17,000 mark. And it's kind of hovered around that 17,000 mark for a little while now. So it's almost 20% up year over year, 40% above the 10-year average.
Mm-hmm.
And while we just said it, inventory has stabilized around that 17,000 number for the second month in a row, unlike earlier in 2025 when it was still climbing. So with the new listings holding steady and inventories around that 17,000 mark, are sellers gaining a sense of security that they don't need to slash their prices?
No,
So
I don't
no
think
security?
so. There's no
Or they don't need to slash the they don't need to slash the price.
They don't. They have no security. I don't think there's any security because every month could change again, right? We're in such tumultuous times, right? There's so much news and so many things affecting what's happening where we live or beyond where we live, but having an impact on us. So people are really cautious, and they should be. Like, look, it's the same old story. Move if it's right for you. And right now, especially if you're moving up in the market, it's an ideal time for you to be moving, or you're a first-time buyer. We've said this for the last 3 months, and I'm still going to say it. The other thing is the inventory in the 2-bedroom apartments, like we were talking 1-bedroom, suddenly the inventory in the 2-bedroom apartments is, wow, there's a lot of choice all of a sudden and really nice stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So again, these first-time buyers have this opportunity. We've got some generational wealth that's helping support their purchase. That's wonderful. If you've got kids that are looking to buy right now and you have the ability to help them, my goodness, get off the fence. This is an excellent time to be looking for helping them out. Absolutely. Because there's so many choices and there's so much flexibility in the terms of the pricing that we haven't seen for a while.
Adam, the other thing that I wanted to say is, because you talked about kind of, the past 10 years, the Vancouver real estate market has been under inventoried for over 10 years. And do you know what? 17,000 listings. That is a healthy amount of inventory. This is allowing buyers to take a pause, take a look, to, make sure that what they're doing is right. I feel kind of almost relieved that we're up at 17,000 listings. There's choice, and
Well,
there's
yeah,
some negotiation power. We get to do our job when there's 17,000 listings. So don't anyone be freaked out. Don't be freaked out to sell. Like, this is a healthy, balanced market.
And how many people have we helped in the last couple of months with a subject to sale of offer, which we could never have even discussed? We don't say the word. 2 years ago, everyone would laugh you off the face of the earth. And suddenly we're putting them together, right?
Yeah.
So
that'll be a really interesting stat, Patti, toward the end of the year to see how many subject to sale deals we have. Because I'm doing them as if they're, this is commonplace. And in fact, we know that it's not.
Yeah.
To follow up on that, we know that inventory is kind of stabilized. New listings are down a little bit. Should sellers list now while the inventory is high, but competition from new listings has slowed compared to May or June?
So some of it's summer, right? Like, some of it's just nice weather, and we've had a really nice string of, and there's other things to do. But, pretty soon people are going to be back to the table. And by the way, it's still been a very active summer in terms of sales and interest in real estate in comparison to other years. But yeah, there's distractions that might go away in the next month. The only thing is how many people are actually going to come on the market, and then how many are going to be legitimate. Again, we talk about people list their houses, but I could still go through each and every category of inventory and find a third that will never sell at the price they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
But Adam, like, I think that whenever I watch Patti do an evaluation, or when we go and meet clients and do evaluations, it's individual, because let's face it, if we go into a complex that has 100 units and there's not one for sale, I really don't care what the market's doing. Now's your time. Not competing against something else that's really, really similar to you always gives you favor. You don't know if someone's looking for that place or has a neighbor that wants, my friend to move in, kind of a thing. So, same for neighborhoods. Like, if we look at some of the various neighborhoods we do a lot of work in, maybe you're not wanting to list in a neighborhood that has 25 homes for sale, but some of them are under inventoried. So if there's only 2 or 3, shine your product up, price it right, and you're going to be the one that sells. So
for sure.
Sellers can wait, but if it's your time, then it's your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Looking forward at sales to active listing ratios, we are definitely in more of a balanced market. Overall, between all the property types, the sales to active listing ratio is 13.8%. So right in the heart of a balanced. Detached is 10.2%, townhouse 16.7%, condos 15.9%. So we can see where the bulk of the market is purchasing. This is still similar to May's 4%. So again, not a huge fluctuation. Leaning more buyer friendly for sure.
Isn't that an interesting
it's just
stat?
I was just going to say, I just think, Adam, there's so much more attached inventory. So it doesn't really surprise me that it's showing more sales, right? Because if we look at the attached inventory over last year, it's almost double in terms of what's available, but that is not true with the detached, right? Can you break that down for me?
I can try to throw something up on the screen. I don't know if you're going to be accurate or not. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure.
The thing I want to say is, I think that detached number is fascinating. That in fact, where the buyer's market statistically is in the detached product. And part of me thinks it's because stratas make you maintain your property. You have to fix things. You have to kind of follow your depreciation report. I'm working with some buyers right now where I've taken them to look at 30 homes, and I've got to be honest, they have a really nice budget. I personally wouldn't live in any of the homes I've seen. They are not maintained. They are aging inventory, aging product, and those detached homes, in my opinion, need to reprice in order to make it more affordable for people to buy them and fix them, because a lot of sellers are not keeping their detached homes up to date, whether it's on the outside or the inside, or unfortunately both.
All of it.
Yeah. They're grossly overpriced and they need a ton of work. And then we can get into the conversation, not now, but another time, of you have provincial and federal policy now that kind of prevents house flipping.
Yes, we talked about this.
Yeah, it prevents some, young enterprising business person to go out and fix something up, so that the buyer then only has to buy it in its totality and mortgage it that way, as opposed to coming up with a huge down payment and then another $50,000 to fix all the mistakes.
Guys, we were right on one of our predictions.
Where are they going to live while they go through the reno? Right?
But like
logistically, it's a nightmare.
It is.
It drives me crazy, because the government, we're going to make more housing. No, actually, you decreased the possibility for people to buy. And don't even get me started. And those guys
so definitely some of the government policies have led to increased inventory, but that is not one of them. That is one of them that has made a big impact for buyers trying to buy a home that's what I'm going to call livable.
Yeah. All those fellows or contractors who were thinking, I can take these products and I can make a little bit of a profit, they lose it all in taxation, so they don't do it.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah. And the average Joe, they can't do it.
Too much work.
Moving on now. We don't often talk about pricing, but I want to talk about pricing. The benchmark price through all of Metro Vancouver is actually $1,165,000. So that's the benchmark price to get into the market. It's down 3%, just under 3% year over year. Month over month, it's down just under 1%. This is similar to May and June's trend of a gradual softening in pricing, but no steep declines. So now that prices have trended sideways for a few months, do we think this is a pricing floor before there might be another leg down?
Wow, that's a tough one, Adam. That's a
Yeah,
really
and I'm not even sure I agree with what you just said. I feel like we did have a little bit of a downward kind of pressure, but I think it's more sideways now, personally. Like I
Yeah,
think
that's what I'm saying.
we've had yeah,
Pricing's been trending sideways. It's like it's
stable.
down like 3%. Like it's a little bit, month over month 3%. Like it's not huge. We're not seeing like this
It's
massive
funny. It's
fall.
funny because today I was at someone's house who I met in May, and they're ready to go, and they were all, they're feeling very stressed that they weren't ready soon enough. And I said, hey, let's just stop for a second. What did I tell you? I said, it's not 10% different. It might be 2 to 3% different. And the timing wasn't right for you. So that's okay. Like, let's not get too worried about that. Like, that's not a significant amount
right.
in the scheme of things. So I agree, Jen. It's not that vast. And then, Adam, do I think it's going to go down more? Well, it all depends on how much inventory we see. Again, that will be the telling sign. If there's a huge increase in the number of choices that are legitimately for sale, not just for sale, but legitimately priced correctly for sale, that will change pricing. But it hasn't happened yet.
Awesome. That's a lot of information. Do either of you have any final words of wisdom of things to look for, summer adventures, before we do our next market update next month?
Well, if anyone has been taking advantage of traveling around beautiful British Columbia, we have a lot of referral partners we'd be thrilled to introduce you to. I know that happens to my husband and I when we travel. We often are over in Vancouver Island thinking, could we buy something here? Will we? Anyway, we do have a really large referral network. So I just want to kind of mention that as you are traveling around the province, any of our listeners.
Wonderful. Until next month, be safe, go sell some real estate, and have fun.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Jen.